Welcome to Getting to Know Your Teachers. I'm Lexa Rose with Blue Dog Press. I'm here today with Madeline DeLittle, who's our school counselor for grades 10 to 12, and she's been teaching at Langley Fine Arts now for 10 years. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
What is your perfect idea of happiness?
Well, I like to be in my garden, actually. And that's where I like to be, and my idea of happiness is when I'm quiet inside and outside, when it's really very quiet.
So just kind of in your own little world?
Yeah, I really like that.
What is your greatest fear?
I think it's actually losing the kids. If anything happened to one of the kids, I have 3 girls, and I think that would be. I'd actually rather that. You know, I think that would be my. I don't walk around thinking, oh my god, they're gonna die. But you know, sometimes it creeps up on you, and you think, what would happen? It's kind of selfish in a way. It's like, what would happen to me if if they died? You know, so it's a bit self-absorbing, but
it's human nature to think that way.
Yeah.
What historical figure do you identify with the most, and why?
Well, I thought about this one when you gave me the questions, and right now, as of today, it's Pete Seeger. And he's only just died, so he's only just become historical. But he was an incredible man for standing up for what he believed, and he's given us songs that generations have known. And he spread the word about peace and anti-war songs and standing up for the earth through song. He didn't lecture. He didn't do speeches, but he sang, and the way he sang, he did it through everybody was joining in. It wasn't him performing so much, it was everybody. And I feel that more than ever now, with what's going on with our world and our earth, that we need to all join peacefully together in song to make a point. Mm-hmm. To stop the devastation of the earth.
Really just connect with each other on a different level.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What do you consider the most overrated virtue?
Beauty. I think it's such a superficial virtue, and yet so much emphasis is placed on what we look like and what we should look like, and it's so much expense and time and money spent in beauty products and clothing, and yet there's many more important things to be doing in the world than the superficiality of what we look like. Absolutely,
I completely agree with that. When and where were you happiest?
When I was 7.
When you were 7?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I get shot right back there to living in a little village in England, and just the innocence of being young. And I have a twin boy, so I always had a friend, and we would disappear for hours and hours. I mean, that classic thing, don't come home till dinner, was true, and we would disappear for hours and hours and make forts and no parenting involvement at all, just free to play.
Wow, and age 7 is just a very vivid?
Yeah, because after that we moved and things changed.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
So up until the age of 7, so from 4, 5, 6, 7, it was just the best, really. I mean, it just still fills me with smiles.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Okay, a little bit of reflection here. I think it's the self-doubt that I carry around. Yeah, I know, shock horror. That I carry around, that I'm not. I say things like I'm not I can't write. It's one of the standard things I say to myself, which actually blocks me from writing. I'm actually saying to myself now, Madeline, you can write. You can write. Because if I do that, if I say it enough times, I won't sort of, I'll open myself up to the possibility. And self-doubt that I'm not good enough, that I'm always sort of striving to. I'd like to lay that one to rest. Actually, it's time. I'm old enough to,
Wow, I never would have guessed.
No.
Honestly, no way. What is your most treasured possession?
I think I'd have to say my house. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is lovely. Yeah, you've been there, right? And the playroom that's attached to it. I think that's where I love to spend time. I don't need another cottage in the woods. I have a cottage in the woods here in Fort Langley, and I love just being at home, and just the whole atmosphere of the garden as well.
I remember the first time I went there. It's just garden.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah. I've got vegetables this year, thanks to Penny Conright's influence.
Oh, yeah.
Veggies, yeah.
What would people be surprised to know about you?
Well, that's one thing about, just as you said, you wouldn't know, is that I probably come across as quite confident, but actually I'm not very confident at all. I've got a very good facade of confidence, but underneath there's sort of ripples of not being good enough, striving. See, that's the other thing, it motivates me too. So there's two sides to this. So all the while part of me feels small, there's another part of me that wants to continue to learn, to continue to grow. And that's why I'm back at university, continuing to learn, so it's not doesn't stifle me, but yeah, lack of confidence.
Outside of your family, what do you consider your greatest achievement?
Well, I'm very proud of the fact that I am about to publish a book. Mm-hmm.
Are you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes, actually, and there's someone you know very closely that is actually in it. Yeah, I put one of the incidents in there that has affected you. It's under a different name, but so you'll have to come to my book launch.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that, I mean, it's nearly there. It's in the final editing before it goes to the copy editor, but it's been an awfully long struggle. So that one, the fact that I am back at school and that I'm still continuing to learn, and the whole part of bringing a new way of working with children and healing them through trauma to the world, that's pretty special too. And being able to share that with other therapists when I go to Czech Republic and Slovakia and Thailand, and to teach what I'm doing, and so that other therapists can do it. Because there's many therapists around the world that don't know how to work with children, they don't know how to heal them. Mm-hmm. So that's my gift to the world.
It really takes a certain kind of something in someone to really work with children because of the maturity levels and everything.
Exactly.
It must be a good feeling to go home every day knowing you've helped the child get through something really hard in their life.
Yeah,
You've done it with me multiple times. On that question we were going to go back to, which living person you most admire?
Right. Well, I think it's my mentor that is called, his name is Dr. John Banman, and I meet with him every month because when you do therapy you have to be supervised to go over how it's impacting you, because there's an impact when you're working with trauma and children as it affects us. So every month I go to see him, and he was a disciple of, or a student of, a very famous therapist called Virginia Satir. And he was a disciple of hers, and she was a very brilliant woman, and she brought in sort of all these philosophies and of therapy and created this new model. But she could never write it down. She knew what she was doing, but she couldn't articulate what she was doing, which incidentally is very similar to me.
It's there, but you can't get it there.
Oh no, I can't put words to it. That's the struggle. And actually, my book is called "Where Words Can't Reach," because it's a different level of working with people. So Dr. John Banman has taken her ideas and written books and is training people throughout the world, and in something that's called the Satir model. And so what I've done, I've taken the Satir model and adapted it to work with children and using the sound tray. And so he's 80 now, he's just retiring, and he's hoping that the likes of our generation, we're like grandchildren of Virginia Satir, not by birth but by training, will continue on this beautiful model of working with people to help them become, quote, more fully human.
Wow.
So Dr. John Banman, I think, is the person I most admire. And he's only just stopped working, and when you consider, most people retire at 65, he hasn't stopped, he's just retired at 80.
That's incredible.
And he travels the world continually, teaching all over the world.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like someone who just doesn't ever want to stop.
No, I think he wouldn't have stopped if it was his body. He had a heart attack recently. His body sort of said, okay, time to stop. So there's within the organisation, there's a sort of a real concern that we've got to get sort of trained up and make sure that we continue this beautiful work. And we're taking on, I have to say, I think it's like 1 million social workers in China. We're training thousands and thousands of prison guards, social workers, teachers in this model, so that they can access themselves in a different way. It's quite amazing. So by working with one individual and with families, we're changing the world.
So that ends our interview. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, it was lovely.
I feel like I'm on a different level with you now because a lot of things you've told me are really surprising, honestly.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed about a couple things, but you learn something new every day. I'm Lexi LaRose with Madeline DeLillo with Getting to Know Your Teachers. Thanks for watching.